All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, all eyes will be on Madison Square Garden as far as the basketball world goes tomorrow afternoon when the Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks meet for Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. For the winner, they'll have a date with the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference finals, while the loser, unfortunately, can begin their summer preparations. So, how did we get here, you ask? The winner of each of the first six games of this series has been the home team. We've seen both sides win some tight ones. We've also seen both sides win some blowouts, but nonetheless, doesn't matter how you win, whether it's by 1 point or by 25. All you got to do is find a way to outscore your opponent tomorrow, which is going to be easier said than done. Now, for the Knickerbockers, the injury bug has gotten them. Of course, you knew coming in Julius Randle was done for the season, the same as Bogdan Bogdanovic. You've lost Mitchell Robinson now for the season. OG Ananobi has not been available for New York since Game 2, and then we saw Josh Hart with the injury last night. Now, both Hart and OG Ananobi are going to try to give it a go tomorrow, and I would expect that because at the end of the day, it's win or go home. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But neither one of them are going to be 100%. But if they're able to play, you just have to wonder how effective could they be, or could it be, simply channeling your inner Willis Reed. Okay, just being out there, your presence alone, being able to motivate your teammates. But nonetheless, will Jalen Brunson be able to rally the troops? And you think about what Jalen Brunson has meant to the Knicks throughout this entire season, and then of course what Jalen Brunson has meant to New York during this postseason, especially in this series here with Indiana. Some people are saying he's having the best postseason run so far of anybody currently in the playoffs. This right here could allow him to put another stamp on that if he can help the Knicks to get past Indiana. Now, if Josh Hart is not able to go, the onus is going to be on Dante DiVincenzo more for New York. But on the flip side for Indiana, will they be finally able to win a road game in this series? Okay. And I said this earlier in this series, and it's something that I'm going to stick with now. The Pacers, they're not a good defensive team. Okay. We all know that. Indiana is going to have to speed the Knicks up. Their offense has to be their defense in this one. Okay. Tyrese Haliburton, we know what he can be when he's getting everybody involved, but it's one of those, it has to be more like a controlled aggression, if you will, because sometimes Halliburton can get a little wild, get a little out of control, and it kind of takes away from what Indiana is going to need from him, especially in tomorrow's contest where the margin for error is not that big. Pascal Siakam, what is he going to bring to the table for Indiana? The likes of Miles Turner as well. Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell off of that bench. They've been big for Indiana in this entire postseason run. They're going to need to be big tomorrow afternoon if the Pacers are going to advance. I've talked about it going into this series. You have two seasoned head coaches, one with a championship on his resume as a head coach in Rick Carlisle, and of course, Tom Thibodeau for the Knicks. Like I said yesterday for Game 7 between Minnesota and Denver, at this point of the series, it's really not that much that the head coach on either side can do to make adjustments. You figure you've played each other consistently for 2 weeks now. You've played each other four times during the regular season. You know the ins, outs, and all points in between of your opponent. The crowd at Madison Square Garden, and you think about it, I talked about this earlier in this series. If they had to, they would try to will this Knicks team to a victory by themselves. And I guarantee you're going to see that tomorrow afternoon at the Garden. The Garden has been electric all postseason long for the New York Knicks. I do not expect tomorrow afternoon to be any different for the team that wears blue and orange. So you look at it like this: who has the edge? I'm going to give the edge to the Knicks due to the fact that they're the home team, okay, and they're looking to keep that trend going as far as the home team winning in this series. I think what it's going to come down to tomorrow: which team can establish their pace first? Okay. Is it going to be the Knicks with Brunson getting to the basket and dishing and guys knocking down shots along with their defense? Or are the Pacers going to be able to speed the Knicks up and run them off the floor? A lot of it comes down to the availability of Josh Hart and OG Ananobi. Are they going to be able to go? And it's one of those, let's just say for the sake of argument, that OG is able to go for the Knicks. A hamstring injury, you just can't flip on a switch and just go full speed ahead. He's probably not going to be 100% out there. Okay, but if his presence alone can help the Knicks get over the top, if you're the Knicks, so be it. Same thing with Josh Hart. I think it's an oblique injury. Those are tough because it's a muscle injury. All right. So it's one of those where they're, again, like I said, each man is going to try to give it a go. But how effective would they be if they're able to go out there and get on the court for the Knicks? I'll tell you like this. Like I said, we've seen blowouts in this series. We've seen tight games, and I think this one, it's going to be a good one. I mean, anybody who is up there in New York City, who has purchased a ticket or is getting a ticket for tomorrow's game, I think they're going to get their money's worth. I think it's going to be a tremendous game. Arguably, could be one of the better games of the postseason so far. Again, like I said, at this point, there's really not much that either side can show the other side that they have not seen already. I think it's going to come down to skill. I think it's going to come down to will. It's a toss up, and I mean, it's a huge toss up. And I think a lot of it's going to be predicated by who gets off to the hot start tomorrow afternoon. If the Knicks can get Hart and OG out there, I like their chances. But if Hart and OG are a no go, I think it's going to be Indiana. The Knicks are talented, but it's just unfortunately the injury bug has gotten them. Can they find a way on pure guts to get past Indiana, or will the youth of the Pacers reign supreme tomorrow afternoon at the Garden? We just got to wait and see. But nonetheless, I think it is going to be a dandy at the Mecca tomorrow between the Pacers and the Knicks. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.